It has been said that you can take the boy out of the north, but you can't take the north out of the boy. This saying has always stuck with me because I was born and raised by two wonderful parents in a very small northern Ontario town. So it has been no surprise to me that through all of the travels that I have done in my life, I always find myself coming back home and to one of my favorite places on earth known as Algonquin Park. So, the latest adventure is a 5-day solo canoe trip in the Algonquin Park backcountry into a place called Lake Opeongo. And I would like to thank Bill Swift from Swift Canoe and Kayak for the loaner canoe on this particular trip, where I had the opportunity to test out a new Prospector 14, as the one that is being built for me will be ready and available in a few months. So again, thanks to everyone at Swift, and especially Tate, for all of the expertise and advice. And if you're coming from Toronto, you would travel north on Highway 11, then hit Highway 60, enter Algonquin Park through the West Gate, and continue on all the way through Tea Lake Campground, all the way through Mew Lake, Bartlett Lodge, if you will, Killarney Lodge, as you can see here, all the way past Whitefish Lake Campground, and you would come to a location that you would have to drive about 6 kilometers up to access point number 11, which is the access point office for the Opeongo store. And from here, you can get a water taxi. And on this particular trip, I'm getting smarter because can't paddle these long distances. And the water taxi actually took me from this location, from access point 11, all the way past Bates Island and all the way into the East Arm. And this particular campsite was the location that the water taxi actually brought me to. Yes, the water taxi from access point 11 is just amazing. It gets you out into the backcountry immediately, saves that energy for setting up camp. And again, as we get older, this feature is just wonderful. I chose the East Arm because of the beaches and the wonderful expanse of those beaches for each and every campsite. And the elevation of the campsite from the water is also another bonus. And in no time at all, I had my camp set up because of the water taxi saving me 3 hours of paddling. So I had time to take some pictures and film footage of this spectacular Algonquin Park setting and campsite. There was a cold breeze coming off the water, and thankfully I had the proper gear all set up and ready to go, both to battle the elements, let alone the onslaught of the flies. And the breeze coming from the cool water was coming right up into the camp, and I put a fire on as quick as I could, warmed up a little bit, and ensured that I had the proper clothing as well. It's always a good practice to bundle up when you're out in Algonquin Park, because when it gets close to the nighttime period, nothing like some good clothing and a nice warm fire to keep you nice and cozy. As the sun was starting to depart, just before supper, it was getting cooler, But with the Tent Teepee Sapphire 7, a great piece of equipment that can handle a lot of room, including lawn chair furniture, great venting. You can even sit in your tent teepee with your sleeping bag on, kick back, and have a pre-supper nap. And had supper in the fly tent, of course. And then after supper, cleaned up a bit, and then just kicked back and enjoyed the Algonquin Park amazing sunset events that always take place everywhere in that park, everywhere I've been in the last 15 years while tripping in this location. And as always, the wildlife comes alive during this time period. So this is a great way to finish your day and then off to sleep. Put your nightlight on, make sure everything's in order, have a cozy night's sleep, and when you wake up in the morning, you give yourself a thumbs up because you succeeded once again in not being a midnight snack for a bear. And the great thing about Algonquin Park is the fact that you can canoe to many locations from one base camp. You can explore island after island and other campsites, let alone portage locations to other rivers, streams, and lakes. Let alone just take the time to go for a dip and maybe even a skinny dip, and or as my mom would say, a fatty dip. But be forewarned, the water is nice and refreshing. And people always ask, what about washroom facilities? Well, in the park, they provide wooden loos. They may be rustic, but they work extremely well. And never forget to hang your food in a tree far from your camp, as no one wants any uninvited visitors during the nighttime period. And for the first time ever, I actually had cell service within this 10-foot by 10-foot location about 200 feet from my campsite, which was really odd, but it worked extremely well. And for a 5-day backcountry canoe trip, the options are huge in regards to food. There are a lot of options in regards to freeze-dried food. My favorite is Alpine Air, especially the Forever Young mac and cheese, and a little shot of amaretto. And with the high-tech and modern camping gear for cooking, your supper can be ready within minutes. Again, I chose the East Arm because of the beautiful sandy beaches in this area. My wonderful family and I enjoy beaches, and ever since the children were young, we've attempted to explore as many beaches as we possibly could do, and in this case, years ago, even in Alberta. And as well, all of the great trips to Florida with beaches from South Beach, Miami, all the way to Los Alamos in Fort Lauderdale, including the Mayan Riviera in Mexico, and even the surf in Rio de Janeiro, South America, along with the amazing privilege of touring all of the beaches in the Greek islands, and a few in the Middle East, such as Dubai and Bahrain. And with the amazing gift of bringing the family to Maui, where we got to enjoy the North Shore even. And I had the opportunity to do my impression of a beached whale. But out of all the beaches in the world that I've been able to explore, Algonquin Park is a special place where I can become a human being and not just a human doing. And as always, all adventures come to an end. And in Algonquin Park, it always provides surprises. Well, we made it through the evening. It rained all last night, as you can still hear. It is raining right now. So a little damp, but this TP Sapphire 7 tent has once again proved itself to be a formidable piece of equipment out here in Algonquin Park, and as always very enjoyable and cozy. Let alone my trusty scarf keeps me nice and toasty and warm. And another tip I was always taught, bring a toque just in case. Keeps the old noggin toasty and the rest of the body nice and dry and warm as well. So today is pack out. My taxi boat is supposed to arrive at 1 o'clock. If it doesn't, I have myself a 2.5 hour, 3 hour paddle. So in the rain, which would be very challenging, but not impossible. So we're going to start to pack up now. It's about 9 a.m. and we'll go from there. So let's hope that boat comes and we'll call it another successful outing. And hallelujah, the boat did show up on time to take me out, and it saved me a 3-hour paddle. And as always, a special thank you to my better three-quarters for always helping me with these adventures, let alone doing her very best to keep the North in the boy. I hope you enjoyed this small clip and that you as well get the opportunity to experience creation at its best.